Welcome to the Explainer. So if you've been to a grocery store, a gas station, or, well, really anywhere that sells anything lately, you know the absolute everyday reality of rising prices. I mean, we're all feeling the pinch, right? But have you ever actually stopped to notice your own behavior when those price tags go up? For some items, you probably grumble a bit, but you toss them in the cart anyway. But for other things, the second that price ticks upward, you literally drop it right back on the shelf and walk away. Today, we're unpacking the economic secret behind that exact behavior.
Okay, let's dive into this. This right here is the central mystery we're going to solve today. Picture this. You've got two products sitting side by side. The price for both goes up by, say, 10%. Product A sees this massive drop-off in buyers, people completely abandon it. But product B? Zero change. Sales stay exactly the same. It's wild, right? The exact same price increase triggers completely different human reactions. So why does that happen? Well, to answer that, we really have to look at a fundamental rule of economics.
Section 1. Defining elasticity. What is elasticity?
That magical term is elasticity. In economics, elasticity is simply a measure of responsiveness. It's kind of like the tension of a rubber band, you know? The pull is a change in price, and the stretch is how drastically demand or supply reacts to it. Do buyers freak out and react dramatically to a price hike, or do they just shrug and keep buying? That level of responsiveness, that's exactly what elasticity measures.
Section 2. The inelastic types. Low responsiveness.
We're starting right here, at absolute zero. Now, I want you to imagine a scenario where price means absolutely nothing to a buyer. A scenario where the responsiveness is just completely non-existent. No matter what that price tag says, the buyer's reaction is exactly the same.
And this brilliantly illustrates that concept. Perfectly inelastic demand. Right here, elasticity equals zero. The quantity demanded does not change one single bit, regardless of price increases or decreases. The absolute ultimate example of this? Emergency medicine. Just imagine someone needs a life-saving antidote. If the price of that medicine doubles overnight, the patient isn't going to say, you know what, it's a bit pricey today, I think I'll pass. No way, they need it to survive. They will buy exactly the same amount no matter the cost. That is perfectly inelastic.
Now, we slide just a little bit up the spectrum to relatively inelastic demand. Here, buyers do react, but barely. Demand drops only slightly when prices go up. Think about basic staple foods like rice or cooking oil. If the price of rice goes up, you might try to waste a little less or maybe slightly reduce your portion sizes, but you're still going to buy it because it's a massive staple of your diet. The price went up a decent amount, but your demand, it only dropped a tiny relative fraction.
Section 3. Unitary elastic demand. Balanced reaction.
All right, so we've moved from 0 to the number 1. And this number is really cool because it represents a perfect mirror image balance between a price change and the consumer's reaction to it.
Unitary elasticity literally means the reaction is perfectly proportional. So, if a company raises the price of a product by exactly 10%, the consumer demand for that product will drop by exactly 10%. It's a perfect one-to-one ratio. You can think of it as the perfect tipping point on our spectrum, sitting right there between the goods we feel we absolutely must have and the goods we can easily live without.
Section 4. The elastic types. High responsiveness.
Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is how we can draw a sharp contrast before getting into the exact mathematical terms. Over on the left side of our spectrum, the inelastic side, we had survival necessities. Emergency medicine, your daily rice. You buy them because you literally have to. But on the right side of the spectrum, the elastic side, we're dealing entirely with wants, luxury goods, dining out at really fancy restaurants. This is totally discretionary spending. And because it's discretionary, your reaction to price changes is going to be wildly different. And that gives us relatively elastic demand. For these kinds of items, a very small price change causes a massive shift in demand. Let's say your absolute favorite upscale restaurant raises the price of their steak dinner by just 5%. For a whole lot of people, that slight increase is more than enough to make them say, you know what, let's just cook at home tonight. The price moved just a tiny bit, but the demand snapped back violently like a highly stretched rubber band. Buyers here are highly responsive.
Which finally brings us to the dramatic extreme end of the spectrum. I mean, we started at 0, but now we are at infinity.
This is perfectly elastic demand, where elasticity equals infinity. Talk about the ultimate deal-breaker scenario for a business, right? In a perfectly elastic market, if a seller raises their price by even 1 single cent, every single buyer will instantly abandon them and switch to a competitor. I mean, just imagine two farmers sitting side by side at a market, selling the exact same type of apple. If farmer A charges a penny more, why on earth would you buy from him? You wouldn't. you'd buy from farmer B. Demand for farmer A's apples drops from 100% to 0 instantly over a macroscopic, actually scratch that, a microscopic price change.
Section 5. The Big Picture. Summary of elasticity.
So the crucial point is this entire mathematical spectrum we've just mapped out together. It really tells the complete story of human buying behavior. Let's review. At 0, perfectly inelastic, you're buying it no matter what. At a low number, relatively inelastic, you grumble a bit but mostly keep buying. Right at exactly 1, unitary, your reaction perfectly matches the price hike. At a high number, relatively elastic, you are super quick to drop the item for something else. And finally, at infinity, perfectly elastic, one wrong move by the seller, and boom, you are gone forever.
Different products, different reactions. Honestly, this beautifully summarizes everything we've covered in this explainer today. The exact same price tag change means something entirely different depending on what the product actually is to the human being buying it. So I'll leave you with this thought. Think about your own credit card bill this month. Seriously, take a look at it. As prices continue to shift in the world around us, which of your personal purchases are sitting at an elasticity of 0, and which of them are getting dangerously close to infinity? Thanks for learning with me today.